So now, nabanggit ni Sir, no, na doon tayo sa Pedro nagda-download ng data. We now look at that data and how it is processed to become images like the one na nakikita po natin sa website namin tsaka sa social media, and what their uses are. So to explain that, we would like to introduce our speaker from our ground receiving, archiving, science product development, and distribution project, Arlo Sabito, who is a university researcher who conducts research on level 3 land product development of Diwata images, and he has a degree in BS Geography and is currently taking his master's in geomatics, major in remote sensing. Please welcome Arlo.
So good morning, everyone. We prepared a presentation as well. So let me just share my screen. So magpe-present lang kami ng images ng Diwata-2 and yung remote sensing applications na nagawa na for it. So quick rundown lang ng GRASP or the Ground Receiving Archiving Science Product Development and Distribution nga. This project is composed of 5 components in charge of the operational, research, and capacity building. This includes yung kanina, yung ground receiving station operations, kung saan nakukuha yung data from Diwata. Mission planning, kung saan kino-command si Diwata, kung saan and kailan kukuha ng data. Satellite calibration, data processing and IRS product development, kung anong ginagawa sa mga images. And data distribution and software development, more on that later, sa next booth. And of course, public relations to handle how we can actually reach you. So let's talk about the star of the event, and it's 2 years in space. Diwata-2 is a low-orbit satellite sitting at an altitude of 605 kilometers, going as fast as 7.5 kilometers per second. Since its launch, Diwata-2 has covered more than 80% of the Philippines, with more than 19,000 photos captured nationally and more than 32,000 globally. We'll be seeing more of these images as Diwata-2 has still 3 more years in space. Diwata-2 is a multispectral imager. Pwede nyo isipin siya as a camera na nagka-capture ng different colors ng spectrum. So, pwedeng red, green, blue, and parts of the spectrum na hindi rin kita ng mata like near infrared. So from this, we can create image composites like the one you see in the website, the art, and other data products. So let's look into the Diwata-2 applications. So thematic maps, such as land cover maps, are useful tools for development, planning, and conservation, to name a few. Here we have images captured in October 2019, the first 2, and another captured in February. From this, we created land cover maps that we can use to monitor changes in vegetation from wet to dry season. You can see the significant change from vegetation in green, changing to bare soil in orange. We can also use land cover maps to see changes in the urban landscape. Here is an image taken by Diwata-2 in 2020 and another taken by PlanetScope Dove in 2016. We created a false color stack of the land cover maps and to highlight the changes in built-up areas. You can see the change built up in red and the unchanged in yellow. And who can forget the memorable event early in January, the eruption of Taal? In the left, you can see the time lapse of the ash plume going further up north of the country due to prevailing winds. So using the Diwata images, pre and post the event, we were able to detect and estimate the extent of the ash in the provinces of Batangas and Cavite. We also used Diwata-2 to estimate the extent of burned areas last February 2020 after forest fires broke out, affecting 10 out of 13 municipalities of the province. The SMI payload of Diwata provides great field of view which is suitable for large-scale disasters like this. Using The high spatial resolution of 5 meters provided by the HPT payload, good identification of affected areas is seen. Provides finer details like built-up areas and road systems. Also captured several coastal and reef systems with SMI and HPT. Using maximum likelihood and support vector machine classification schemes, it was able to classify corals, seagrass, and sargassum in Danohon, Bohol, and the coast of Cebu. Mapping of benthic habitat are essential in monitoring and conservation of marine resources. So we also used other satellites to maximize the use of remote sensing, especially during this pandemic. So, trending rin na topic yung turquoise waters sa Manila Bay. We use Sentinel-2 and 3 spaceborne images to map the water quality and turbidity in the area, and the results suggest that discoloration is due to high water turbidity, indicating high water pollution. Trending din yung mga images ng smog-free na Metro Manila. So, we looked into Sentinel-5 to assess the situation. Decrease in NO2 emissions in SCR can mainly be observed during the ECQ period, which is highly influenced by vehicle emissions. The major source of NO2 in urban areas. Progressing through the year, NO2 values coincide with 2019's emission gradually during the GCQ period. We also use other satellites like VIRS to monitor nighttime lights as a proxy for economic activities. So changes in the lights are especially more pronounced during the course of this pandemic. So during the ECQ period, makita nyo na abruptly nawala yung mga ilaw, most likely due to establishments closing down due to the application of the quarantine. And gradually, bumabalik na yung ilaw during the GCQ period. Ito rin yung sikat na beach beautification sa Manila Bay. So we can see the progression in 1 month from August to September using PlanetScope data. Let's look at Diwata-2 natural color images. First, we'll look into HPT images. So yung HPT payload niya, yung mas higher resolution, pero smaller yung area coverage. Here is an image in Benguet, in Zamboanga del Sur. Here we have a long stretch of high resolution images in Metro Manila, capturing Quezon City, San Juan, Makati, Pasay, Parañaque, Muntinlupa, Las Piñas, and up to the province of Cavite. Another high-resolution stretch of the Cebu Island and Mactan Island. So here we can see the coasts of Carmen, Danao City, and Compostela. Here we can see Liloan and Lapu-Lapu City. Now let's look at HPT images captured globally. Here is an image in Maralbeshi, China, Caracas, China, and the beautiful Pula, Croatia. Now let's look at Diwata SMI captures in the Philippines. SMI provides lower resolution images, but at a much larger area coverage. So here are the Palawan Islands, Central Visayas, Bohol and Cebu featuring the reefs system, Puerto Princesa, and further up north, the Batanes Islands. Let's look at SMI images globally. Here is in Al Anbar, Iraq. another one in Iraq, in Al-Basra, and an image in Iran, Iraq, and Kuwait. We have the reef system in Dalak, Eritrea, Cairo, Egypt, and in California and Mexicali. So that's all for our presentation. So thank you.